Hey, what's going on, guys? DC Supreme is back after another long hiatus. Sorry for the lack of uploads. Holiday season was crazy. But I did find a old Batman vs. Bane 2-pack that was a little crushed, so I figure it's no good to my sealed collection. I got another one of these sealed anyway, so we're finally going to crack this open. I've been looking forward to playing around with these guys for a while. So without further ado, let's just get right back into it. Alrighty, so we got both of these gents out of the package. We've got the Knightfall Batman, and then we've got the Knightfall Bane, which I do think is much, much better than the original Mega figure that Mcfarlane did for it. This is the first Knightfall Batman that has a bendy wire cape, which is pretty awesome. I wasn't too keen on this one at first, but let's start with the Batman and get a closer look here. So, at first when I saw photos of this guy, I thought the face looked like he was a zombie or he spilled pizza sauce on him. But in hand, I think it has a really grisly, gnarly look to it, and I do enjoy the battle-damaged aspects of his costume. Obviously, like I mentioned, wired cape, which is really, really nice. I'm not too great with the dynamic posing when it comes to these wired capes, but, I mean, most of this review is probably just going to be me playing with it, but, like, you can do stuff like that where you can, get the look where it's, like, floating in the wind or, stuff like that. And if you're very, very loose, which is kind of an interesting contrast, but, you get the idea. You can do something like that. Or just, dude, it's on the rooftops, you're ready for war with Mr. Bane. As you see back here, we got a nice diorama thing with the Two-Face coin. You got a T-Rex. Looks to be the Batcave in which they fight in the Knightfall comics, which is really, really cool. Now that we've got rid of the diorama, here's a trading card, which is from the Knightfall comic book. And we got the back here. You can take a chance to read it if you want. It says the fight between Bruce Wayne and Bane is detailed in Batman number 497. After 3 months, the exhausted Batman was no match for Bane. Bane pummels him ruthlessly before breaking Wayne's back over his knee inside the Batcave below the manor, breaking Batman's back. So, that's what this is supposed to be, a more battle-damaged Batman. Some of the detail, it's painted detail, so it's not sculpted, but it still does the job. I really do enjoy this Batman figure. I just wish they married the gray and blue a little bit better, because they keep giving us these half measures when it comes to these Knightfall figures. The first one, the blue and gray, the gray was perfect, but the blue was a little too dark. Still a great figure. Then they had the black and gray Knightfall one. The San Diego Comic-Con one was probably the closest in terms of accuracy. I mean, the cell shading was good. The dark was still a little bit... The blue was still a little bit dark, but it makes sense for the comic book, considering the dark shading. But this is what I think the color blue it actually is from the comics. If you take away the cell shading, this is probably what his suit looked like in action. I just wish the first Knightfall Batman it had that same gray, but with this blue, or vice versa, that darker blue with this darker gray, I think that would have looked perfect. They kind of swapped them to, my liking. I mean, I'm not a big stickler for comic accuracy when it comes to Batman costumes. It's not be all end all for me. But I do think this guy has quite the presence. He moves pretty great for the most part. I mean, obviously, the Knightfall body buck by now. This is, this came out back in July, so this is old news, but you can fold his cape up. Guy's got solid movement overall. I think this is a really good Batman figure. I mean, I have very little complaints. It looks way better in hand. If you're unsure, or still haven't picked up this 2-pack, pretty sure you can get it on Amazon. I didn't get these from Amazon. I got both of my Batman Bane 2-packs in the wild at Targets. But I was just holding off opening these because I didn't want to order on Amazon because it kept selling out and then come back in stock, and it was just hard to keep track. But this guy is really killer. I mean, I have very little complaints with this Batman. I think he's solid. I don't know if I like him better than the black and gray Knightfall. I just think that's my typical Justice League thing. I'm a sucker for the black and gray. So this guy's a little bit lower than that, but I'd still give this figure a 9.3 out of 10. I think it's really good. The wired cape really takes up a notch for me. Wish these details were sculpted, but it's not, like I said, it's not the end of the world. They got the belt. They got the accurate logo. The face sculpt, well, not perfect. It's way better in hand than in the pictures. I mean, this is a mean-looking Batman, a beaten-down, angry-looking Batman. And like I said, I couldn't be more happy to have this wired cape as well. I think it just really adds so much more character. It is gorgeous. I mean, when Mcfarlane finally went over to doing these wired capes, I mean, it was like a fucking blessing, because it's killer, man. It is killer. That Batman's awesome. Before we get into the Bane review, we've got a couple extra fist pieces for Batman, and also 2 grabby claw hands, whatever you want to call that. We've got if I can let the light come in a little bit, a Batarang, and then Mr. Bane here's got 2 punchy fists, a left and a right. Right? And now let's get to Mr. Bane. Zoom out a little bit here. Oh, this guy is spectacular. Take a look at that face sculpt there. Yeah, face sculpt is good. Very accurate. I like how they added little blue striping. I think it looks interesting. I'm not against that. I know some people are like, bigger sticklers for comic accuracy than me. They might have an issue with that. The painted on back hair and arm hair, very strategically placed as to where Bane would, luchadors, they love having their back hair, it's a staple. I mean, although I don't know if Nacho Libre had back hair, but besides the point, classic tubing here, and it connects to this little vessel on the back of his head that pumps the venom into his brain, I guess. His belt looks good. It's actually pretty accurate to the source material. But in the comics, I don't know if he had the straps. In the fight with Batman, he didn't, but I think he did in the comic at some point have the straps. I think it's just in the fight his shirt was off. I mean, who can blame the guy? The striping down the pants, it might be a little bit overcooked, in my opinion. I do like it around the mask and the torso. Yeah, it adds a nice shade to it. Articulation, his arm can go up pretty far. Elbows are alright. For how big his biceps are, there's more bend than I thought there would be, which is always a happy surprise. His legs, he can't quite, heard something crack there. That's not good. You can't quite do an Anderson Silva front kick to the face. But, I mean, you can do a body teep just as good. I mean, we got this bodybuilder physique, just hulked out, just methed out steroid head, juice head Bane, whatever you want to call him. I mean, he's not trying to head kick you. He's trying to body slam the shit out of you. and curb stomp you. So the leg articulation doesn't surprise me, and it doesn't offend me either, which is really quite surprising. I know a lot of people complain, and they piss and moan about the Mcfarlane Big Figs and the articulation. Mcfarlane is not like Hasbro when it comes to articulation. That Carnage that I custom painted myself, it will literally run circles around this figure in terms of articulation. That was $40, and Mcfarlane Mega figures are also $40, but it's just a hulking mass of plastic, and it's Bane, and it's awesome. So I can look past that. You know, it's not just because I'm a big Batman and Knightfall. I love Knightfall. I love Night's End. I love Night Quest. The whole storyline was fucking phenomenal. It's iconic. And Mcfarlane, you know, heard the prayers. He heard us asking for this, and he fucking delivered, man. I've been a big, major critic of Mcfarlane. As much as I defend him, in the past, before I took my holiday hiatus from YouTube, I've been very critical, especially of his platinums and the collector's edition nonsense with gatekeeping characters. But the fact that this wasn't a platinum, it wasn't a store exclusive, is huge props. Mcfarlane, good shit. I'll give you props when props is due. And you deserve props for this 2-pack, man, because, I mean, just look at that silhouette, man. This guy has such a big presence. Really gets me excited for James Gunn DCU, potentially seeing a Bane like this, because, I mean, besides the Joker, he's tied with Scarecrow for my second favorite Batman villain. So to see a figure done to this caliber is just completely enthralling. It just gives me so much faith with his big figs going down the line. Not big figs, his mega figs. That's what they call it, the mega figures. It's painted superbly. He's not too tan, but he's not too pale. The one thing I worried with the set photos of this guy, and like not set photos, stock photos, of the figure, he looked a little pale. On camera, he looks a little pale. In hand, under good lighting, he's perfectly tan. And it is quite great. He's not as tan as the mega figure that the solo release he did was like a knockoff Knightfall. It wasn't Knightfall, it was more like Rebirth Bane, but it didn't say it on the box, but you get the idea. He is like, I mean, the perfect silhouette. I mean, a little bit of paint chip on the elbow there. Or maybe he just has really ashy elbows like me. So you know, we get it, Bane. You know, he's just like me for real. We both got ashy elbows. It is what it is. You look past that. I'm not going to dock him points for that. But let's just look at him with the alternate hands real quick while I pop these off. So we're going to just put one hand in because this is a pain in the ass. So he's got his punchy fist and then he's got his grabby hand. So I think you can have him break Batman's back. Give me a second while I figure this out. So lo and behold, he can pick him up to do a full suplex or tombstone or whatever. The cape kind of gets in the way a little bit, but it's nothing too detrimental. It looks like he's picking him up to help him here, which, apologize, I'm not the best with posing. But I'm going to try to get him in a back-breaking pose now. So I apologize for my suck-ass posing job. Kind of got to kick his one leg out, hook his one grip arm underneath one of his legs, and kind of try to push his head down with the other hand and create that effect, which you can kind of get his back on there. The cape gets in the way, and Bane's leg doesn't quite come up enough, but I mean, I'm holding him up because he's going to tip over. I think it's a good job. I mean, the way I look at this 2-pack is you're buying it for Bane. I know it's $70, but mega fig, regular fig, You know, it's usually $60. With the price increase McFarlane's done, it makes sense as to why it's $70. The Kyle Rayner and Kilowog 2-pack was $70. The Mr. Bloom and Rookie 2-pack was $70. So out of all those, though, this is easily the most worth it. This is probably the best 2-pack that McFarlane's ever done. And it's not a platinum, and it's not a gold label, so that's a big bonus. And it's not a stupid collector's edition either. Like I say stupid, I've bought at least a dozen of his collector's editions by now, but anyway. Definitely worth the $70. You're buying this for Bane. He's the highlight. I'm going to give the Bane figure a 10 out of 10. There's really nothing that I would do differently. I think it's perfect. It is the Bane figure for this price point. It is the best one. Obviously, you can probably get a Mafex or Mezco with maybe better articulation, but it's even more expensive for a $40 price point. It doesn't get much better than this. And the Batman is good as well. I give it a 9.3. I look at the Batman as just a bonus for this. I mean, the value is there. There's a lot of plastic. It's a lot of fun to be had. And I'm really stoked I finally got to do this review. I bought this 2-pack like 6 months ago. I finally get to review it here and break the bat. I got it on his knee there. I think I did an okay job. Obviously, it's not great. You know, he can't stand like this, but you could have some fun with it and take some really sick photos. But overall, I really enjoyed this 2-pack. I really enjoyed playing around with it and posing them up and all that. I think it looks really awesome. I gave him a 9.3 out of 10. Bane gets a 10 out of 10. He's fucking phenomenal. Overall, I'm going to scale it to 9.75. We'll call 9.75 out of 10 for the entire 2-pack. I think it's awesome. Anyway, guys, it's been DC Supreme. Look forward to some more reviews coming soon. I've just been so exhausted. I finally got a better job that isn't so demanding on my time and, mileage and just travel. And the holidays are over, so we're looking good. Get some more reviews coming soon. Having some Marvel Legends reviews coming soon. So it's been DC Supreme. Hope you enjoyed the new intro. Hope you enjoyed the review. Look forward to some great stuff coming in the future. Take care, guys. Stay classy.